So I am curious to see how, with a puzzle like this, I feel like you just set the rules and you don't actually have to think of, oh, they have to switch it off in this order. If they flick the switches enough times, eventually they'll turn all three off. Oh. Camera moves up. Hmm? Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Yeah. Huh? That's pretty good. I think your eyebrows are missing. And then we can't get past. So now, when I flick this, these two should turn off. Yeah, they turned off. Oh, actually, no, this is stupid, because now you can just do this and this. And that's it. It's solved. You don't need... But if I was to go 1, 2, 3... Oh, that also works. Yeah, that also works. Just doing it just straight in a row. They might go here first. And then they'll go... Oh wait, this doesn't play into... Green, red, green, blue. I really thought this puzzle was going to be more complicated than I made it out to be. But I mean, it makes sense, right? If it didn't take me very long to figure out how to design the puzzle, it shouldn't take that long to solve it either. Hey, it's me, Phil, from Alec Games, and we're here making a simple... Using RPGMaker MV. For those of you that are new here, we are making an RPG from start to finish. We're trying to keep it simple. We're trying to learn as we go. By that, I mean, I mostly know what I'm doing, and those of you that are watching might not. And so if you want to know how to use RPGMaker MV in particular, this can help you do that. Yeah, to catch you up, I'm using something called the skeleton method, TM, trademark pending, whatever. I'm sure I'm not the first person that's invented it, but basically I've built a skeleton of the game from start to finish. Everything's placeholder. None of the maps are properly done. None of the dialogue's fully put in. None of the cutscenes are fully done. All that kind of stuff. So it's just placeholder stuff. And yeah, you can play through the game from start to finish with no combat, anything like that. It's just to make sure that all the story beats are there and make sense, and that we've set up all the correct switches. And now we finished that skeleton. We just got some puzzles to make, because each temple in the game has a puzzle in it. We're going to make some puzzles, and then we're going to also make a fishing minigame. Hopefully we'll get to the fishing minigame today. I have been talking about it just about every stream, and I really want to get into it because I want to see if the idea for it that I've come up with is going to actually translate, and if it will be interesting enough. Do people really care if the fishing minigame is good, or does it just need to be there? Is it just, let me pet the dog kind of thing? Let me minigame the fish. So we'll see. But yeah, we've built the skeleton. Once we've finished these little puzzles in the fishing minigame, we're going to start actually going back through all the placeholder levels that we've made and actually flesh them out properly. What about a minigame to save the horse from being turned into glue? You know what? Let me ponder on it. And I'll get back to you and I'll see what we can come up with. So is it like one person chasing you? Is it a horror sequence maybe, where you're running away from the well, it's not like a butcher, is it? I bet you there is a specific name for the profession of someone that turns horses into glue, and it'll be some old-timey name. It'll probably be kind of metal, right? Probably be kind of sick. A dating sim. I have to romance the glue maker to persuade them to not. I think you just kind of want this whole thing to be a dating sim. Do we need to pivot? Is it wrong in 2025 to just make a normal RPG with RPG Maker? Should I be listening to the people and give them what they really want? A dating sim full RPG. Huh? I think that's it. I think we got it. We're just going to throw out everything that we've done over the last, what's it been, a month? But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at the moment. So if any of that pivot, Bro, the 3-month subscription, that I was literally just thinking today. I was like, I'm pretty sure I need to subscribe to Coco again. I feel like it's been another month. Thank you so much for the sub. You are putting my kids through college. It's not going to be a good college, and they will maybe be able to afford one page in one of the textbooks. Is there even going to be textbooks by that time? Is it just going to be? Oh, I mean, it's probably just you're probably just going to interact with, an AI MLM model or whatever. You're welcome for the 350 I'm giving to Luca. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, he's it's not going to be the best college education, but might not even be a real college. It might just be something online that gives you a certificate to print out at the end. But you are funding it, Coco. Thank you, thank you. And when they send my boy into space and they interview him, they'll say it's all thanks to my dad streaming on Twitch and interacting with that one guy, Coco. All right, let's stop chatting because yeah, I want to get through these. We've got a fire temple puzzle and the sky temple puzzle to do, and then we can get into the fishing mini game. And I want to at least get started on the fishing mini game. Well, we're not going to finish it because it's gonna. Yeah, it's already, as I've thought about it, I've already scope creeped it to oblivion, and made it much more involved than it was originally going to be. Bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, this is our world map, and these are the maps for the game, start to finish. Right? This is the whole game. There's obviously going to be extra maps as we flesh things out. But yeah, this is it. This is what we got. I still need to watch the latest VOD. Look, if you hadn't just subscribed to me, I would have called you a fake fan. But I also was late in getting that VOD out, so that's fair. That's fair. Plus, but it's the good one. It's the one where we actually finished, and you can watch the credits roll, and you can see your name in the credits, Coco. I'm doing a puzzle. We are doing the fire temple puzzle. Let's have a look. I didn't write anything particularly lengthy for this, but there's going to be fire geysers. There's going to be like 3 blocking the way, right? And then there's going to be 3 switches right next to it. And when you turn the switches, they will turn different geysers on and off. And or if the geyser is on, it will, like, one switch will turn geyser 1 and 3 off. Or if they're turned off, it will turn them on. You know what I mean? You've seen these types of puzzles. Once we start mapping it out and putting it together, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen this a million times in a million games because I've played every game in history. And kudos to you, epic gamer. Yeah, so that's kind of it. 3 different switches turn 3 different geysers on or off in different patterns, and you must do them in the correct order in order to pass through. So I am curious to see how, with a puzzle like this, I feel like you just set the rules and you don't actually have to think of, oh, they have to switch it off in this order. It'll just be, if they flick the switches enough times, eventually they'll turn all 3 off. Like there's obviously a minimum number of moves that you could do to solve the puzzle, but I feel like this is one of those ones where when you set it up right, if they just flick the switches enough, they'll eventually turn 3 off. Because I feel like that's what's happened when I've interacted with these ones. So we need to go to our first floor of the fire temple, which we have right here. We are going to, what have we done in the other ones? We've extended the floor, right? We've made it 27 across. So we're going to do that here. We're going to make it 27 across. Okay. Unless they're really bad. Unless they're really bad at puzzles, you mean? They're not going to solve it. If you can't solve this puzzle, you don't deserve to play my game. Get good, son. That's all I have to say about that. If Dark Souls can say it, I can say it, because this is going to be the Dark Souls of JRPGs. But isn't Dark Souls a JRPG? That it is, my friend. That it is. So what we want is to... That is what we've done every other time, isn't it? So we're gonna we'll get rid of all this. I wouldn't call Dark Souls a JRPG. What do you mean? It's a role-playing game made in Japan. Right? Okay. Maybe it's a dating sim. Ornstein and Smo, fight for my affection. If played correctly. um uh, well, it's funny you say I wouldn't call Dark Souls a JRPG, but it is a JRPG, action JRPG, or maybe it's a JARPG. To me, JRPG is a genre, not a label for an RPG made in Japan. Yeah, well, I think they literally got into a debate about it on, and I think it pops up semi-regularly on the JRPG subreddit. Someone will post the question just like, what is your definition of a JRPG? And yeah, they'll go off about it. So what if we do... So we're gonna have... Let's put a grate on the floor that the fire geysers are coming out of. So we'll do... So it's got to block our way. So what if we do it like this? No, that doesn't make sense. Oh no, you still need to deactivate all three. No, they need to be in a row, because otherwise, yeah. Maybe I should change. Maybe I'll change this map. I'll change this map. We'll make it a long map instead of what was it originally? 17. So we'll make it 23. 23 hut. We will grab this bad boy, drag it down here. We will make sure that this ground floor temple transportation thing puts us in the right spot. Okay, so that's fixed, and I don't need to change anything else because that should all be fine. Let's do this. Let's grab that, drag that down there. It's semantics and it's stupid. Thought I'd entertain it though. Thank you. We love a lively discussion here on the Crocodile Show. Welcome back. We're talking everything Crocodile. It's only real champagne if it's from France. Is that even how you spell champagne? I thought it was Champagene. Or is that how the French spell it? I could be wrong. You're Canadian, right? Doesn't that make you more French than most people? Sorry if that if what I just said was offensive to you. So I guess we'll do it like that. And then 1, 2, 3. Or do we want to here, and here? Yeah, I think that looks good. I just came back. What happened? I think I corrected Trailer on his spelling of champagne, and I said, oh, you missed it. I did the whole welcome back to the Crocodile Show where we talk all things Crocodile. French is our other official language. Yes. Your first official language being Canadian. And you called him an idiot. Oh, so you were here the whole time. Did I call him an idiot? Did I call him an idiot? Wait, are you gaslighting me? What? Don't make me out to be the villain. I'm the true villain of this game, guys. My feelings. I don't care about feelings. I only care about facts. Oh, so this is it. This isn't. Oh, why didn't I do that? So, guys, this. Where's the water temple? So this. Where is it? Drained. This tile here is transparent underneath. So if we put in a parallax background, hopefully there's one of water. Is there one of water? Oh, kind of. Why is there not just straight up water? I mean, we could get away with this because you're only going to see it through this. Nah, you're going to tell that it's sky. My feelings. And you said Putain? What? What do you... Don't do this to me. Coco, defend my honor. What if... Look, let's just for now slap that in there. And if only it was lower. What if we... And we loop horizontally. So it's going to go from left to right. Yeah, that kind of works. See, and if in the fire temple, underneath these geysers here, we could have another parallax background. Where's one that looks like fire? This sunset sky kind of does. We could alter this later. We could literally just make a duplicate of this image and fiddle around with the color levels and stuff, make it look more like lava. And then just set that later. So now just for placeholder, and just horizontally. Yeah, let's just try that. Make that more interesting. So we've got our three switches here. Not three switches, three grates. And then we'll have over here three switches. What if we grab this guy? Do I want to grab this guy? We'll grab this guy. Slap him down here. Yeah, because it's got this, and we just changed the image. So we want it to be, because it's the fire temple, it's going to be a red. It's going to be a red, not a switch, a lever. A red lever. And look, it already says geyser lever. But we'll say geyser lever number 1. Okay, and we'll change that to that. Okay. Ooh, but we don't want... Well, we do want... Yeah, we'll have this self switch A, but we'll get into this in a second. So, okay, so we won't copy and paste this yet, because we'll want to actually set up the switch properly and then change that. Switches. We want to make up a new set of switches, and we want it to be geyser number 1. Yeah, no, fire geyser number 1. And then we're gonna paste that, and it's gonna be fire geyser number 2 and fire geyser number 3. Okay. But oh, okay, so we want this to be an if statement. Wait, is that what we want to do? No, we want the switch to return to... No, we don't even need this. Because every time you pull the lever, it's going to be like a jig jig, you know, like you're doing a... What's it called? A like a slot machine. Because you're not technically... Oh, no. Or do we want it up and down? Because it could be quite simple in that it's all contained within one event, what the switches do. Because when you pull the lever... Okay, let's just take a step back. Let's just get into... We'll get into the whether it needs to be up and down, whether it needs to switch to a different event page. First, let's just figure it out in one event page. So what I want is for this first lever, when you pull it, it turns off the first and the third geyser, right? Turns off the first and the third geyser. So we're going to say pull the lever. If you say yes, pull the lever. Wrong lever. Oh, maybe we should make a fourth switch, a fourth lever on the other side. And if you pull that, you say wrong lever, and then it opens a trapdoor underneath you and you drop back down to the first floor. Nothing bad actually happens to you, but it's just, could just be a funny joke. Emperor's New Groove is a fantastic movie. Putain. So, okay. So what we want is a conditional branch, because we want to check. Oh, so we need to... Okay, we're getting ahead of it. Let's just... We'll fill in the blanks as we go. But what I want to happen is it's going to check is Fire Geyser 1 turned on? If it is, do this, else do that. If it is on, we want it to turn the Fire Geyser switch number 1 off. Otherwise, if it's already off, we want it to turn the Fire Geyser on. So we'll get rid of that Fire Geyser 3 over there. We'll get rid of this control cell switch A for now. We'll keep it all contained within this one event. And then we're going to do another if, but we're saying if Geyser 3 is on and an else. If Geyser 3 is on, turn Geyser 3 off. And if it's not off, turn it on. If it is off, turn it on. Cool. So let's work with that first. Let's see what that looks like. So we've got that switch. It does that. Okay. Now we need to actually set up these fire geysers. So this you couldn't see what was happening, but in my brain I was like, wait, we need to make it that these fire geysers are turned on right at the start. What we could do is, rather than just having an event run in the background, so that as soon as you enter the map, the fire geysers are already on, we could make it that there's a little cutscene, so that when you walk here to try and move through the map, you'll stop, and then that's when all the fire geysers actually turn on, and then you go, oh, I need to solve this problem. Only problem with that being is that these switches you could play with these switches before you even hit this trigger, but again, the whole layout of this level is going to be different anyway when we come back to it. So neither here nor there. We could make it that these switches don't even work yet. Until the cutscene's triggered. So Fire Geyser cutscene. And below characters, we're going to do player touch. So that means that when the player walks on top of the tile, whereas if we had same as characters, it would be when they bump into it, not stepping on top of it. But with below, it would be that they step on top of it, so they'll step on that tile. I could make it maybe the tile just before, but I feel like it's more whoa, because we could have a little cutscene too, where when the fire geyser turns on, you jump back, you take a step back. Make it a whole cinematic thing. So, okay. So below characters, player touch. When they touch this, oh wait, we need to, okay, well, we need to create these guys first. So, what's this? Fire geyser number 3. And we're going to have we're not going to have any image. Oh, what are these? What does it look like? Not this one. I want this guy. Look at that. Look at that flaming geyser. Oh, so we could make it have like a bubbling thing that you can pass over. Maybe we do that. So we'll do stepping, direction fix. Oh, except we don't want direction fix because we want it to be able to. Ugh. It's alright. Well, actually, no. You won't be able to. If we do. No, it still needs to be same as characters action button. It'll have no action anyway, so that's fine. So we don't need direction fix, I don't think. And then we're gonna copy this, paste this, change it to this guy, and make excuse me, make the switch Fire Geyser 3. So when Fire Geyser 3 is on, we got flames and it's gonna be dancing. Okay. So there's that. I think that's all we need. And then we'll make that Fire Geyser 2 and switch that to Fire Geyser 2 and Fire Geyser 1, Fire Geyser 1. So I think this is making sense to me. So right now, so now we've got this. So we step on the thing. When we step on it, maybe the camera scrolls a little bit. Scroll map up 3, maybe. Up, up, up. So it's like got these more centered. And then we could even have it rather than all 3 at once. And so you see the one furthest away from you first, and then as the last one right next to you, and jumps back. So what are we doing? So when we get into the nitty and gritty of it, we want to actually properly animate it so that you saw in the image thing, if we show it here, flame, this one, that there's like 3 different stages of the fire pillar, the fire geyser. So we could. Oh, I just realized I could have doors like this that have like to move on. There's flames blocking the door. That's kind of cool. Anyway, but yeah, so we could properly animate it so that instead of just going from this to this, it'll actually do, right? So the map's going to scroll up. We'll wait a beat. We'll wait a second while it does that. Maybe we show a balloon animation. No, show a balloon icon on the player doing a question. Huh? And then a sound effect. Sound effect. Where is it? Sound effect. Where's fire? Fire. Also, I bought RPGMaker MV, so we've got even more assets now that we can add. I don't know what I haven't listened to MZ's music yet, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see what their music tracks are like, because I feel like they've kind of progressively gotten worse with each. Like, they're still pretty good tracks, but I think the earlier ones definitely had a lot more passion put into them. It's not my favorite, but let's just do that for now. What if I... It's too low. What if it's... Okay. So it plays that sound effect. We control this switch. Fire geyser 1 turns on, which will change that. I also got MZ when it was on sale. Yes, you can finally make the dating sim of your dreams trailer. Trailer jury. Never mind. I'll keep that in my brain. Yeah. Yeah, you can make the dating sim of your dreams. And hey, just so you know, a lot of what you've been learning here, I can court Coco's horse. Finally. What are we? What am I saying? Yeah, a lot of what you've learned here, if you have been learning trailer, if it hasn't been going in one ear and out the other, a lot of what you're learning here will transfer quite easily over to MZ. There will be some differences, but I think most of the eventing stuff should be pretty much the same. But if anything, if there is any differences, it will be quality of life improvements, I would say. Plus, you can also hit up Coco. Coco will teach you the MZ ways. He works at MZ. I've been paying attention. I'm glad you have. I'm glad you have. Because there will be a test at the end of this. Turns out you've actually been building the game alongside me, but you've been building it in MZ, and you're going to release it before I do, and it's going to look better because you're using MZ. I don't know. Sweep it right out from under me. Cool. So the sound effect's going to play. That's going to come on. We're going to have a little pause. There'll be a second break before the next geyser turns on. And then a shorter pause when the last one explodes. And and then we're going to have the player movement. Do we have them jump backwards? Or just step? Let's just do step for now. Jump would probably look better. Okay, I haven't been paying take test attention. Yeah. Skip if cannot move. I'm just going to put that in there. So step backward. Maybe we'll add a balloon icon exclamation. We won't wait for completion. So as he's stepping backwards, he's going to be putting that exclamation point up. Ooh, maybe we increase. Okay, so this should sound further away. So we'll do 20, 30, and then 50%. Right? And yeah, so that will create that effect, hopefully. So step backwards, and then maybe we'll have you know, him say that was close, and our wisecracking rogue, I think your eyebrows are missing. And then we need to end this. We don't want to trigger this cutscene again. So control cell switch. No, not copy. New event page. Cell switch A on. And that's that. So that'll be our cutscene. That will turn this on. These will all be on. And then we'll have to use these switches to deactivate these. Let's... Oh, gosh. I just realized I'm going to have to play... I'm going to have to play through. I wasn't making saves to get to this point. So one thing we could do to just make this test happen is we can just put the player right here so that they already start here. They won't have any party members because they don't start with any except for themselves. I also need to come in here and make sure that the player is not transparent. Because we have them transparent at the start because that's, you know, when there's the text scroll going on. Cool. So let's just test that out. Oh. Camera moves up. Hmm? Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Yeah. Huh? That's pretty good. I think your eyebrows are missing. And then we can't get past. So now when I flick this, these two should turn off. Yeah, they turned off. But I still can't get past them. Which might work out in my favor. Because I'll make it that when all three are off, they'll properly turn off. But when we pull the lever again, see, it switches them back on. Right? So that works. But what I want... see, I'm just wondering, do I want this to stay in the down position? You know, so that the player can keep track of which switches they've used, kind of thing, or whether that isn't going to matter. Maybe it won't matter. We'll see. When we've made the full puzzle, we'll check it out. So I'm gonna keep this here just in case I do want to use it. But it doesn't hurt anything to leave that event page there. So we'll now do this. This is going to be Geyser Lever 2. Now, I'm just wondering... Yeah, anyway, we'll see. We'll see. We'll just... So I'm going to make it so that the first one does the first and the third. The second one does the first and the second. And the third one does the second and the third. And and I'm pretty sure some combination of pulling those switches, you should be able to turn all three off. Now, yeah, cool. So this guy's a level 2. So what did we say? It's going to turn the first and the second. So if Geyser 2 is on, Ooh, that could be interesting. So that's how you could make it more complicated, is that instead of checking um instead of it checking is, you know, the same geyser that it's going to turn on and off on, you know, geyser 2 affects geyser 2, you could do, if geyser 2 is on, then that changes how geyser 3 behaves to potentially make it more complicated. I don't know if that makes sense, if you know what I mean. So instead of if geyser 2 is on, turn on geyser 2, turn off geyser 2, it could be if geyser 2 is on, turn off geyser 3. And that could complicate the switches more. So then the player would just have to, through trial and error, figure out, oh, it could, yeah, that could actually get really confusing. But you know, if there's only 3, you could see. But yeah, you need a some way to tell the player that when you affect those switches. Yeah. Anyway, what we did in the Earth Temple is we had like a story that progressed through the puzzle that kind of determined like the kind of answers you need to give. We could make up some kind of story as well here that, like, even though you could clearly just go up to the switches, turn them on and off, and that's how you would figure out what they affect, we could add like some lore tablets that say, and the first switch, you know, the first and the last light were extinguished. Yeah, I don't know, something like that, maybe, to make it a bit more interesting. But that's right. Sounds kind of stupid, but it is something we could do. And then what did I say? This one's going to affect geyser 2 and geyser 3. So, geyser 3. Geyser 3. Cool. All right, so let's see if it's possible to solve this puzzle. Got that. Cutscene. And then if I press this one, okay, it deactivates those 2. But then if I press this one, oh, it's seeing, it still keeps one on. And now all 3 are on again. So if I do this one and this one, no, I want, oh. Wait, and then this one, no, because that'll just have all 3 on. Yeah, that doesn't help. Guys, is this solvable? I don't think you can. I think because you need to create a situation where the first and the third are on. What if I do that? Do that. Is it impossible? I've been trying to do it in my book. Like a book that you're writing, or as in you've physically written down what I've set up here? Because you need something that... So how do we... What do we do? How do we do it? Do we make it that this one only affects the first? It doesn't do 1 and 3, it only does 1. Because then you would do this and move that down, and then you would turn this one off. Yeah. I've been doing it on paper while you were making it. Nice. Paper prototypes, a very good way to quickly get your ideas out and figure out if something works. Yeah, it's a good way to do stuff. But you can also just tinker in engine. It's also handy. Cool. Okay, so if we just change it so that the first switch just activates the first one, then you still have to do like a certain order in order to get that to happen. So let's just quick easy change. Just delete this, and we should be golden. Okay, so we need the see. Look, I can. The problem is I can pull this before you even start, and then it ruins the cutscene. So, oh, actually, no, this is stupid because now you can just do this and this, and that's it. It's solved. You don't need. Bleh. So, do I need to introduce a fourth fire pillar? Maybe. Well, this is interesting because the Sky Temple puzzle is somewhat similar to this, except instead of there only being 2 states, which is on and off, there's going to be 4 states because you're going to be changing the colors of crystals. So there's going to be 4 crystals, and each crystal can be one of 4 colors: green, blue, red, and white. And the goal is to put them, to make them in the order of the temples, the elemental temples. So you want a green, a blue, a red, and then a white. But every time you change one, it affects multiple, and it moves the color forward by 1 every time. So yeah, it's going to be a bit more involved. So what do I do? Because this is too simple. Do I change this to be only 3? But then it's still just pull all 3 levers. At least 4 geysers or switches become more complex. Yeah. I chose 3 because the Sky Temple has 4. So in my head I was like, oh well, 3 is obviously simpler, and because I don't want them to be too similar, but so do we add a 4th? Add a 4th, but only 3 switches? Does that work? Or you have to do it in a certain order or it resets? What do we... Because so at the moment it's... I can pull this one, and I can pull this one. So what... Okay, what if we change... What if we keep the one... Okay, what if we do 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3? Maybe? Okay, we'll try this first, and then if this doesn't work, we'll go to 4. We'll go to 4 geysers. So what am I saying? I want to change this instead of 2 and 3 to make it what we had before, which was 1 and 3. I don't know if this will trap us again. Let's have a squeeze. But you guys have seen these puzzles before, right? You know what I'm talking about now. You've seen these puzzles before. This is how you can implement one yourself. Cutscene. So, pull the first one. Pull this one. Oh, there we go. Not very hard. You just do 1, 3, 2. But if you're, so if we do that backwards. But if I was to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, that also works. Yeah, that also works. Just doing it just straight in a row. Maybe if I move, because I don't, depending on how the player play tests it, you know, will the player approach this one first, or will they in their mind go from left to right? Do I need to simply just switch these two around to disrupt the order of things? So let's try that. Let's try that. Let's see what that does. So if we go 1, 2, no, that still solves it. That still solves it. So, so what? We did 1, 2, 3. So what if we do this, this? That still solves it. Okay. We've got it set up so that no matter what order you do it in, it just solves. There's how do we? So maybe I do that thing just before we go to Four Geysers where it checking if this is on turns on and off a different one. Right? Is that, let me put this back in order. So if I say, if this is on turn geyser 2 on, and otherwise, ooh, but do I make it that it doesn't do anything? It doesn't turn it off in this situation. Geyser 2 off. I don't know what that's gonna do. Oh. Cutscene. Okay, I should make a save. Save down the bottom. Okay, so this only turns that one on. Okay, that still doesn't do anything. Okay, so it's saying if Geyser 2 is off. No, it's not having the effect that I thought it would. So what if we do it in this order? See, I feel like I'm like trying to save myself time here without having to add a fourth geyser. Like I'm just, oh, wait, why did that activate again? Why did that cut? I thought I saved it. Oh no, I did a new game. As long as the switch does one geyser, it becomes a very short puzzle. Yeah. Ooh, okay, and then no, that's still, what am I missing here? Why is that not turning geyser 2 on? Oh yeah, why isn't that turning geyser 2 on? It should turn on the second geyser. Oh, no, I want... Is this what I want? Is this having the same effect? This technically has a different effect, right? Than just saying if geyser 2 is on, because this is all determined only if geyser 1 is on. So... Does that make sense? Okay, so those two turn off. Turns them both back on. Turns 1 and 3 off, but if I pull this one and then this one... see, so that changes... That changes how it's done. That changes how it's done. I think? But that's only if, you know, the player could fluke it and get it right on the first try. I've definitely done that in games before. Not to toot my own horn, but like, I've definitely, like, come to one of these types of puzzles, just been like, oh, what if I do this lever, and this lever, and, you know, just fluked it, because that happened to be the right order to do it in. Because what happens if... Okay, so that's if I do it from left to right. Okay, what if I do it from right to left? Solves it. Okay, so that solves it. Should just hit F5. Why do I keep doing this? So what did I say? Left to right solves it. And that also... Is that more complicated than it needs to be? Okay. We go... Right, so if they do it from left to right, it's going to take them more steps to solve it. If they happen to go from right to left, though, it's gonna... So what it... Okay. What if we add another layer of complexity? And so here... what if we say that this affects the second geyser as well? Is this possible? Is this doable? As long as it's switched to... Yeah, I'm reading comments that have already been there. Alright, now let's see what happens. Okay, we do that. We do that. We do that. Of course, because what I just did was make this switch turn all three off and on. That's so stupid. I'm an idiot. But what if we get rid of this and we change this to geyser 1? Now, does this... That 1 and 2... This also affects 1 and 2. So if we make that affect 1 and 3? Guys, I don't know what's happening at this point. I'm just doing this until something works. This is why you need to plan these things out here. But it is fun just to muck around, you know, and just see what you can come up with. Happy accidents, you know? But if you're on a strict dev timeline, You can't be fumbling around like this. But I think I kind of have that luxury. That does that. That does that. Oh. 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 This one? Hey! I feel like that took more steps. So with them all in the off state, technically I can test it by doing this, right? Yeah, so going from right to left won't solve it instantly either now. Yeah. Oh, how do I solve this now? Oh, there we go. Okay. I think that's it. I just need to test. How does this work? I don't actually know. But the point is that setting this up, I don't need to know the solution, right? It's like with Mario Maker, right? You build the level, and all you have to do to get that level published is prove that you can get from the start to the finish. By any means necessary, right? And then it's not your fault if the player that plays it can't figure out that one way to do it. This is great game design, guys. So if I do this, and this, and this, cool, that doesn't instantly solve it. Let's just reverse that. Do that, that, and that. Oh. Oh, this does not. Hey, there we go. Solved it. What happens if I... Okay, I need to make sure that my levers do what you think they should do. 1 and 3. 1 and 2. 1 and 3. So this is... So like you can't figure out the puzzle just by turning each switch on and off. Because, so you look at those rules that you think are there, which was this does 1 and 3, this does 1 and 2, and this does 1 and 3. And I'm sure if you wrote it down, you would go, oh, this isn't solvable. So, but you don't actually know that these switches like have different conditional things, which is when this is down, and maybe this is why I need to actually keep these in a proper on and off state. So that you know, oh, I need this to be down, this to be up, this to be down. You know what I mean? Like that'll make more sense. Like you need them, it's not just about pressing all of them a certain number of times, it's actually having them being in specific positions. Because while this is down, this behaves differently. No, that behaves the same. While this is down, this behaves differently. And then you can solve it. 2 on. Yeah, behave. I don't know if this could be like if it with the way this is working, I feel like a player can't approach this logically, like visually, logically. It would just be flipping switches until something works. But maybe that's how it's been done in all the other games. You know, they don't actually have a set solution. They just put in enough. Anyway, I feel like that's complicated enough, but let's, what do we want to do? I don't even know what is going on. Perfect. So what we want to do here is add self switch A so that it goes to this. And it's still the same thing here, but instead afterwards it will turn the self switch off, and this this needs to be backwards because we want it to go back. Turn, because we want it to go to this. So what's that? That's right. So we want it to go right, left, down. Right, right, left, down. Okay. And then it will switch back to this. Yeah. Let's, no, I don't want to copy this event page. I want to copy this. Need to fix this though. We don't want through on. Don't want that. Yeah, okay. And off. And there's that. Okay. And that. So switch A on. It'll go to here. We copy and paste this over here. Turn that off. And copy and paste. All right, so now each level will be stuck in an up and down position. Let's make it no, it's okay. Maybe we make it like a sound like we stepped on on like a pressure plate or something. we go. Although I think we've used that as a switch before as well. That's bone crunching sounds, boy. Alright, let's do that. Cool. So we need to prevent the player from pulling these switches yet. Unless we made it that these switches are actually, oops, these switches are in a room. Maybe we'll close that off. You can see it from the side there, and this room is blocked off until maybe we make this over here. It's not as obvious to the player. Obviously, this level will be built differently. Because I mean, they'd still see this straight away, but they'd come up here and they'd try to go straight ahead. Let's see. Oh, they're already on. All right, because I want to play the cutscene again. Oops. Here. Okay. Hey. So down, down, up. But that doesn't work. Because if I do down, down, up straight away, right? Down, down, up doesn't actually solve it for you. It's this yeah, you just gotta pull levers until it works. So we will change it. Oh, actually, it should be fine. No, we'll change it so that there is nothing here. Because it kind of looks stupid with the thing on it anyway. So let's just do it like that. Oh, an hour and 20 already. Goodness, we are not getting to the fishing minigame, guys. Can you do center then right? Just center and right. We'll check it out if that solves it. If that's the shortest way to solve it, that would be good to know and have in the brain, because then we could have like a little tile that says, you know, in some cryptic way, you know, the middle, you know, the middle path, the right path, but never the left, or something like that. Okay, so we're just trying to see. Right, so center, and then right. Trailer. Okay, so that's the easy way to do it. Center and right. But the player won't know that. They might fluke it. And if they do, good for them. But yeah. There we go. Center and right. And then we keep going. Cool. Well, I'm happy with that. You can just do, yeah, so we could, so, you know, we could make it that, you know, there's, secret. See, I pay attention, yeah. You know, that if you explore the rest of the level before trying to solve this, then you can find that there's a plaque. It says, hint, let's say hint plaque. And it'll be this guy right here. And we'll just say, you know, I traveled, the road split 3 ways. Always travel the center path, then take something like this, right? Then take the path to the right. Never should you take the left path. Maybe using a road is the wrong analogy here, but like something that says, you know, pick the second one first, then pick the third one. Don't ever bother with the first one. Something like that. Something like that. You know, maybe it's you know, maybe it's a story about a king drinking from 3 goblets of wine. The first was poisoned. But then, I don't know, that gives players the thought that if they touch the first lever, it will kill them or something. I don't know. Never should you take the left path. No, see, that doesn't work either. But anyway, let's just, for placeholder, hit the second lever, and then the third. Don't touch the first lever. Now, the problem with this is that, you know, if the player tries the levers first and then, comes here, they'll, yeah, this won't work. This won't make sense to them, because then they'll think, oh, I need to, anyway. What are the ways around that? So what we could do is have a fourth lever that actually resets everything. We could make it that when they read the tablet, if they read the tablet, here's how we do it. Here's how we do it. Except, because I could make it that if they read the tablet, it resets the geysers, but then that will be a problem, because if they've already switched all of them off and then come here and read that, then they'll be like, oh, I have to turn it off again. But what do we do? But what I need to have anyway is that when they have solved the puzzle, that it like turns everything off. So once all three levers are off, it should activate. So we should do new, we'll do a new switch. We'll say puzzle, fire puzzle begins, right? There's probably a better way to do this, but we're gonna have a parallel event here. Is it parallel? Is that what we want? Parallel event. Fire puzzle solved, right? And so this is only gonna start running once the fire puzzle begins is on, and it's gonna be checking if fire geyser 1 is off, and then within that it's going to check if fire geyser 2 is off, and then if fire geyser 3 is off, then it will. I wouldn't worry about them reading the tablet. Hitting random buttons seems to have a high chance of turning all three geysers back on. Yeah, but I don't know if after because it only matters, it's all dependent on if all three geysers are on, right? Maybe I don't have to be cryptic with the slab, with the hint. It could just be, and again, we're trying to keep this as a simple RPG. But anyway, let's finish this first before I go into that thought. So we just want a cutscene or a thing that once all three are turned off, it's going to oh, that's something that I need to do as well, actually. So in this cutscene, I'm forgetting that by the time we get to the fire temple, we only have one party member left with us. And so we need to make this dialogue specific to who we have left. I am back. What's the progress so far? Welcome back to the Crocodile Show, where we do all things Crocodile. I'm your host, Crocodile. We have made a puzzle that works. Do I know fully? Do I understand fully how it works? No, but it just does. Trailer, I think, understands it better than I do. He's got it written on paper. He's been able to solve the puzzle in the shortest amount of moves possible. So we're gonna have a tablet hidden somewhere else that hints to that. But if the player mucks around with it the way that I hope they will, it will actually take them longer than just 2 switch presses to solve. The man that travels down the middle of the road is on the righteous path. Yeah, it's a little too cryptic. Righteous path. I know what you mean because I know what the thing is, but that might be like I can, not that it would ever get to this point, but I can see it being in like someone writing a walkthrough and being like, yeah, look, there's this tablet that says this, and like I get what it's saying, but man, what a stupid way to to get this across to the player. So what are we doing? We need conditional branches. We need to check who's in the party. If it's rogue, say this. Oops. If it's rogue, say this. If it's mage, say she can say I can smell burnt hair. And and the cleric says, I can heal burns, but it ain't easy. So depending on who's in the party, they'll say that. Anyway. So he's the lead game designer. I always ask for the impossible. I mean, are you the lead game designer? Where's my credits? Story writing consultant. I mean, you guys are going to be playtesters anyway. We'll just keep you as that for now. We'll just keep that. We can put you as, because I would count it as like a playtester. Lead game designer, maybe. All right, so we have another. So after all 3 have turned off, we need like a do 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 do. We're going by Zelda rules. Nope. We did it. We solved the... Maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I just need like a little sound effect. Just like a click. Something. What did we do before? Maybe it's just that. And we can have not as dumb as you look. I would have solved that faster. And the cleric says, um, what does the cleric say? What's the cleric's personality? They're like kind of wisecracking. They kind of hate the knight. They don't hate the knight, but like it's that kind of rivalry, that kind of banter. I mean, maybe he says you're not as dumb as you look. And the rogue's more just like, if you had taken any longer, I would have disabled the trap myself. Something like that. And then we want a new switch. A new switch that says fire puzzle solved. All right, fire puzzle solved. And we want, and then we'll just do a new event page and fire puzzle solved, and that's blank. Cool, so that'll turn off this parallel event from running. And that should be it. And then we want a new it will turn all the switches down. Yeah, fire puzzle solved. All the switches will be facing down. Or maybe we make it that it sits in the middle. Nah, that's stupid. Yeah, so it will make them all face down and you won't be able to activate them anymore. So we'll just copy and paste that all over. And paste all over. So you can't touch them anymore, and we don't need to change anything else because these will all be off, so that's fine. And yeah, so what if we change this to when all flames are burning bright, you know, to say to the player, look, when you've got all three flames going, hit the second lever and then the third. Don't touch the first lever. But we can dress that up later. All right. So we got the hint plaque and yada yada yada. All right. Let's test it again. See the oh wait, there's still okay. Okay. What I want to do is make it so that you can't touch these until the fire puzzle begins switches on. So we'll make that fire puzzle begins switch for both, but we will copy and paste and we'll turn that off and we will remove all of this so they can't be touched yet. Yeah. I mean, we could have a little flavor text, just like the lever won't budge. Because the levers don't activate until See, this is the annoying part. I gotta paste this, copy this, paste it there, delete that, and now that does what I wanted to do. Yeah, so we're turning the fire puzzle begins on for all of these. Yeah, so that way these levers won't be, you can't use these levers until you activate the cutscene. And the only way you activate the cutscene is if you try to cut through here. So even if the player sees this path and goes, oh, I'm not going to go down there, I'm going to explore first. And then they explore and then they go, oh, what are these levers for? Oh, what's this hint plaque about? Yeah, they won't be able to do anything until they trigger that cutscene. So, pull the lever, wrong lever. Great. So that makes sense, don't it? Let's copy this again. Paste, copy, paste, delete. It's the worst. It's the worst. All right. Fire puzzle begins. Now, with all these switches that I'm putting in place, again, there's potentially a simpler way to do what I'm doing. Maybe you use a variable. I don't know. There could be simpler ways to do it. Again, whatever works for you guys. If you figure out a quicker way, you know, a more simple way to do what I'm doing, go for it. But sometimes you just got to do whatever works. Okay, let's do that again. So we okay. All right, sorry guys. Sorry. It does what it do. Yeah, we're back. My apologies. All right. So we're here. I'm not going to activate the cutscene yet because I want to test this. Level won't budge. Level won't budge. Level won't budge. Oh, what's this? Oh, why can't I read that? Okay, I need to fix that. Huh? That was close. I don't have any... See that? I don't have any other party members with me, so there was no additional dialogue. So what? What's the quickest way? This one, and then this one? Whoa. Whoa, why is it doing that? Okay, so something went wrong with my parallel event. Okay. So, I died in real life. So, if you die in the game, you die in real life. So, I foolishly slapped this. No, so I need... Oh, where do I need to put this? I need to put this switch here. I foolishly put it inside this, if this cleric is in the party situation. So I needed to put it over here. So yeah, that's a little window into what happens when a very small parallel event. So this was run. So this door sound effect was running like just about every frame of the game, because it was just because there was nothing else to run. Because there was I had no other party members with me. It was just like, cool, let's just play the door sound effect endlessly because there's nothing breaking us out of this parallel event. So yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that again. Okay, so when we solve it, oh, I need the cutscene. Oh, okay. I need to create a new save because this old save doesn't activate the cutscene switch. It's close. All right. So we just do this one and this one. Oh, and all three switches turn down. Now I can't touch them. And if I had a party member with me, they would have said something. And that's it. We did it. It only took us nearly 2 hours. Guys, this next puzzle, maybe we shouldn't do this next puzzle. Below characters, why didn't it do? Oh, all right. So I needed to change that to same as characters. That was my fault. Got to fix the sign. Yes, I'm doing that. Thank you. Thank you, trailer. Cool. Guys, it just works. It just works. Save your game. Thank you. Save. So that's the Fire Temple puzzle. Finished. Beautiful. All right. Shall we start on the Sky Temple puzzle? Oh, and that's another thing is once we where's our mini boss? Once we get through the Fire Temple, once we get through the puzzle, there will be a mini boss. Who's the mini boss going to be this time? Who's someone fire looking? Where's a fire looking monster? I mean, this imp kind of looks like they'd be in a fire temple. Cool. So we'll have a mini boss. Oh, so I was thinking too about, you know, when you come back to the temples for the second time, there does need to be, there should be bosses, like, which means I'm going to have to make more bosses. But I have thought of sort of a cheap way to do that. But there's going to be bosses again, but this time they're bosses created by the deity. And what I was thinking is that the bosses will be because we've got all the actors in here, right? Or most of them. So we've got the rogue, we've got the knight, we've got, yeah, the cleric, and we've got, we have the witch, the mage. We don't have one that looks, maybe someone similar to the mage. I don't know. But yeah, it could be because like the deity has, you know, absorbed or put their souls into the crystal realm before he has like a pattern of their DNA or something, and so you're fighting like a corrupted version of your party members, which again will be tricky because I'll need to set up a new set of switches that say you know, I left the mage at the Earth Temple. And so when you come back to the Earth Temple, you will fight the mage at the Earth Temple. But if you left the mage at the Fire Temple, then you'll fight the mage at the Fire Temple. You know what I mean? Nah, I mean, I guess we could do her as like an evil version of the witch, I guess. They kind of look similar. They kind of got the same hat. Yeah, so maybe we just have an evil version of, and then in the Sky Temple there'll be an evil version of the knight that you've got to fight. Shadow Link, you know, that kind of jam. So that's an idea. Might make things a little bit easier. So Sky Temple, 9:40. It's been a long day. It's been a hot day. We had a power outage. Um, yeah, we had a power outage for like a good few hours, and it was very, very hot today. So that kind of drained my energy quite a bit. So I'm feeling it. I'm definitely keen to go to bed. And we're definitely not going to make this this Sky Temple puzzle. Although it is more fleshed out. It is more fleshed out than, you know, what I wrote for the Fire Geyser one. So colored crystals. So the crystals need to be set in color order of temples. No fishing game tonight. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But that's okay because, well, maybe we'll see. I'll, I might, I might, I do want to kind of finish the stream at 10, but which only gives us like 15 minutes. But maybe I might go longer just so we can get the Sky Temple one done, and that way on Thursday stream we can focus purely um on the fishing mini game. Yeah, okay, so it need to be set in green, blue, red, and gray. Different crystals may only change their color or the color of multiple crystals. All crystals start as gray. Perhaps the first gem changes first and third, second gem changes second and fourth, third changes second, third, and fourth, fourth changes the fourth. And so I actually wrote out the solution, the quickest solution, right, based off of what this does. You change uh, the first crystal to get it to the color that you want. Then you change the third crystal to get the third crystal to the color that you want. Then you change the second to get to the color that you want, and then you change the fourth crystal so that the fourth crystal is the color that you want. And again, there may be a quicker way to solve this, given what you can do, but yeah, I think this makes sense. So we'll see what we can do. Let's set it up. Set her up. So what if we'll extend this. We'll do height again. So what are we saying? 23. We'll move that to there, I guess. And we'll change this. Wait, is that right? Oh no. So we need to change B2 to make sure it goes to there. Yeah. Okay. And we will copy this. Oh, slap it down here. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. And if we oh, how many across is that? 3. No, I want to do that. So we want to make it like a little box that you're in. And the only way to get out of it is to solve the puzzle. No, you don't want that. So in each corner, we'll do it like this. So this is crystal number one. Crystal number one will be so they'll all start gray, and we'll do stepping and direction fix. Okay. So crystal number one is going to change the first and the third crystal. So um so I need it to, so when you press on it, it will, do these all need variables? Does this have to work on variables? And 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I need it to add to the variable. Like, how do I make it? Because I need it to move sequentially through each color. So it starts at gray, but if you press it once, it will go to green. If you press it again, it will go to blue. Press it again, it will go to red. Press it again, it will go back to gray. And so that's fine for the individual crystal, I guess. But it needs to be if, but that needs like a parallel thing then. Okay, do I just set it up as a base first? Do we do a variable? Crystal number one. Okay. If it's set to 1, it's gray. And then, well, actually, let's have it be there before it's turned on. And then when we trigger a cutscene that blocks us off from continuing forward, it will set all of these to 1. Yeah. So they'll just be like that. And they're not turned on. So they're just stationary. Oh, we need direction fix still. So they're stationary and dormant. And then when we activate the cutscene, it will set it to 1. So then we'll be on our way. Then I want to say, you can copy this event page and say when it's set to 2, that it goes green. Ooh. So we want the first crystal to be green. So we're going to make it that when it's green and correct, when it's in the correct position, which is green, it will be shiny, not just a dull green. It will be shiny to indicate to the player, hey, you've put it in the right, this is the correct color that it needs to be, right? Then we're doing number 3 will be blue, but it's going to be this. It's not going to be shiny because it's not the correct color that it needs to be. And then going to go 4 and it will be red. So right now, when you press on it, so we need to touch the crystal. Touch the crystal. Doesn't need to be capitalized. We will have a show choices. Yes and no. If yes, control variable. Crystal number 1. See, if I do set, if I just do add 1. Okay, so the first time I touch it, it will add 1. And that will turn it to green. And then if I just copy and paste this across, but on the last touch, I want it to return to this guy. Yeah, we're going to have to do friggin' if statements. Yeah. 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 Okay, so what? Okay. Probably doesn't make sense to anyone yet because this is all living inside my brain right now. But what I need to do is check. So we want a conditional branch. If the variable is equal to of this crystal, of crystal number 1 is equal to 4, and we want an else branch. If it's hit 4, if it's 4, we set it back. We set it back to 1. Right? If it hits 4, then the next time we touch it, it goes back to 1. If it isn't at 4, then we add 1. So if it's 3, we add 1, which will turn it to 4, which will turn it to the red. Yeah, this works. Okay. I think, yeah. So it's not, I shouldn't actually be adding this in here. It's not relevant for it to go here. But this is just so when I copy and paste it into the other crystals, that this will make sense. So I want this to control crystal 1 and crystal 4. So I say, so I need to do this. So it's going to affect 2 crystals. So we're checking crystal 1 and we're also checking crystal 3. So I'll make all the variables. Crystal 2, crystal 3, crystal 4. Okay. Yeah. So if crystal 4 equals 4, then set crystal 4 back to 1. However, if it's not on that, add 1 to it. Yeah, this makes sense, right? This should make sense. So I need to add this to, so now that we've got that in place, I actually need to overwrite all of these. All right. Yeah. So I will have another parallel event. Sky puzzle. I'll have another parallel event that will be, so we'll make another switch again with, Sky puzzle begins and Sky puzzle solved. Okay. So we want Sky puzzle begins. When that's activated, we will start running the parallel event. And the parallel event will be checking with a conditional branch if variable of crystal 1 is set to 2. Yeah, so it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 1. If crystal is set to 2, then check if crystal 2 is set to 3, and if crystal 3 is set to 4, and if crystal 4 is set to 1. And then if all of that is correct, so maybe we'll make it that there's a sigil that pops up to block your way. Kind of like in the Earth Temple. There's a sigil that pops up to block your way, and you can only... Yeah, and it will disappear when it's solved. So control switches. Sky puzzle solved. Will be on. And we'll make... where's the sound effect? Oh. Because my stuff conked out. I can't hear the sound properly through my headphones. All right, let's try that again. So. Hate it. It's great. Yeah, that and then that. And should we... So we'll make it here that the cutscene activates. Sky puzzle cutscene. Sky puzzle cutscene, and flow characters play a touch. And you probably get that. What? That's the sound. What? That's the sound I make in the toilet. Ooh. Should probably get that checked out. Oh man. If you can make that sound the next time you're streaming, Coco, I'll be very impressed. So we need a sound effect. Actually, we'll move it there. We'll make a guys, my brain is shutting down. I need to play a sound effect. It's not the sound effect I want, but that's the sound effect we're going to use. We're going to play an exclamation on the player, and they're going to jump back. Set movement route, step backwards. Maybe we'll do it in that order. They'll step back, and we will turn on the puzzle begins switch. And that will give us, ooh, this, blocking our way, stepping, direction fix, same as characters, yes, switch, sky puzzle begins, on, okay, cool. So we have enough in place to, oh, also I've done this wrong. This needs to be over there because we're coming from up here, not down here. I have made a fool of myself. Uh, I was such a fool. Okay. I don't like this. So yeah, so that's gonna happen there or there. There. Let's make it there. And you step back. And so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Cool. We all on board? So yeah, if you don't know what I'm doing here, you can, if you ever want to play test a particular map that you have, you know, without needing the rest of your party and all that kind of stuff, you just right click, go set starting position and choose player. And now the player, when you start a new game, will start at this location and you can test out that map. But obviously if you have a map that has things that are dependent on switches that are only activated earlier in the game, then you're going to have to play through or create like an NPC that allows you to manipulate those switches. But yeah, there are pros and cons to that, obviously, because you know, you may be able to activate that switch through the NPC, but you haven't properly tested if when you play through the game and will that switch properly activate to allow, you know, that thing to be activated. Okay, so we can't activate this yet. We walk here. Oh, cool. We're blocked off. And this should actually be spinning now. Why isn't it spinning? Cool, first problem. Sky puzzle begins on. Oh, do I need, have I not? Okay. So we need the sky puzzle begins switch on. I don't need to set it for these other ones. Yeah, I only needed to set so that it starts this one. And then everything after that should be fine. Yeah. So I just need that just so that it supersedes this one. Oh, actually, no. I need... Yeah. But I also need... No, I also need to activate... I need to also set every crystal to 1. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have to have... Yeah. What am I doing? I don't need this switch. Yeah, I only need the crystal to be set to 1 switch. Yeah. That's fine. I'm just doubling up my conditions when I don't need that. I only need this Sky Puzzle Begins on to activate the Sky Puzzle parallel event. That's going to be checking if I need to make a new event page where the Sky Puzzle is solved. And so that parallel event doesn't keep running. Otherwise, we'll have that heal sound effect play repeatedly, just like we heard it before with the door switch thing. And then we would also insert here like, well, actually, no, I'm by myself at this point. At the Sky Temple, you're on your own. You don't have the party with you anymore. So, yeah, if I'm going to say anything about having solved it, it would just come straight from the night. Maybe we'll do that just to, you know, it could be a callback. I could, I could make it a callback. Because we have that variable set up with the last member left behind. So we could have a callback where, depending on which party member we had with us at the Fire Temple, he will give a response to solving this puzzle based off of what was said to him at the Fire Temple. You know, so the cleric said to us, "You're not as dumb as you look." And so when we solve the puzzle here, we could have, you know, if last member lost, was the cleric won? I don't remember. We can figure that out later, but if the last member lost was 1, then is equal to 1, then he'll say, you know, I'm not as dumb as I'm not as dumb as I look. Right, and so that would just be a cool way, again, to make each playthrough more personalized. So depending on which, you know, if you had the mage at the Fire Temple, then he'll say something in that calls back to what the mage said to him at the Fire Temple. Guess I'm not as dumb as I look. You know, we could even be more on the nose with about it. You know, the cleric was right. Cleric was right. Guess I'm not as dumb as I look. Yeah. Just something to make it a bit more interesting. Cool. So that will be solved. That will then we want a new one where Sky Puzzle solved is, and that's gone. It disappears. Okay. So now we should have everything in place. Oops, I didn't say. New game. Cutscene. Oh, and now this is activated. Touch the crystal. Now it's... Oh, why didn't it go to green? Why isn't this working? Why is this stuck on red? Why is that not working? Okay. If crystal number 1 is equal to... Oh. Okay. Because I didn't fix this. Also, this needs to be crystal number 3. It's 1 and 3. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. Crystal 3 equals 4. Change crystal 3 back to 1. Else add 1 to crystal 3. Okay. I need to... Wait, what do I need to fix? It's literally just this one. Okay. That I did wrong. Paste. 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 Okay, now this should be working correctly. Hopefully. Cutscene. Nice. Save. Alright. Ooh, green. It's in the correct spot, so it's shiny. Blue, it's dull. Red. And back to grey. And it keeps cycling through. Beautiful. That works. Now, crystal number 2. What did we say the rule for crystal number 2 was? Changes the 2nd and 4th gem. So we need to change all this to crystal 2. Crystal 2. Crystal 2. Crystal 2. Okay. And crystal 2. What did we say? Crystal 2 and crystal 4? Gem changes 2nd and 4th. Yeah. So here we go crystal 2. Crystal 2. I must sleep. Good night. Thank you for coming, Coco. Appreciate it. Again, thank you for the sub. If I forget and I am on your stream, although that will look bad, you saying like, hey, Phil, remember you're gonna sub to me? But remind me, what's our code? Maybe if we just have a code word, so when I'm in your stream, you can just remind me to sub to you. Just come up with a code word. Don't give me money. Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be the code word. Just say, hey, it's Bill from Other Games. Good to see you. Don't give me money. And then that will remind me to sub to you. It's my Prime sub. It's my Prime sub. You know, it's no sweat off my back. Bus. Bus. Okay. Bus will be the code word as well. Bus. But yeah, thanks for coming, Coco. Definitely tune in on Thursday because we will be doing the fishing mini game. Okay, so we're changing this to 4. Changing that to 4. This is actually not too difficult to set up. I thought this was going to be a lot more complicated, but I literally just need, like, the rule is the same for each of these, right? It's just changing what it changes. If that makes sense. And just making sure I copy and paste that correctly across all of these. Oh, but we need to change it so that this is that and this turns into that instead, because we want the second one to be blue. Yeah, so that, okay, let's see how that works. Let's see how that works. Cool, they're both spinning. Green. Okay, so neither of these are going to affect each other yet. So we're not going to see anything interesting happen. But right now, this is the correct order. I'm actually really excited about this puzzle once it's all put together. Cool. So that's that one. Now we got crystal number 3. So again, hopefully if I've set everything up right, it should be correct. So we've got to change all these over to crystal 3. Crystal 3. Crystal 3. Crystal 3. We want the red one to be the shiny one. And we want to change that back to dull. And what does 3 affect? The third changes the second, third, and fourth gem. So, right. So all I need to do is copy and paste this one into here. Yeah, and that should be correct. Beautiful. Yeah, the rules are the same. Nice. Okay, now we're gonna actually start seeing some magic happen. Because now, yeah, it's gonna affect multiple. So if I do this, it should change both. Yeah. And if I do this, see, so now they're getting out of whack. Yeah. Good. If I do this, it mucks that up. Cool. So now we've got all 3 of those working correctly. Okay. And then it's just our last one. Crystal number 4. So this will already be shining when it activates. So crystal 4, crystal 4, crystal 4, crystal 4. And this one, I'm pretty sure you only changes the 4th crystal, right? First, third, second, 4th. Yeah. So we need to change that to the dull one. Okay. And what does crystal 1 change? 1 and 3. Yeah, 1 and 3. So all I have to do is delete and delete because it only changes number 4. Okay, that's it. This is it. We've made it. It's actually this is such an easier puzzle to make. This is already in the correct position, right? And so you'll touch this one. Oh, see, and it changes both. And then I'll go, oh, let's touch this one. Oh, but now all of them are green. Okay, cool. The blue one's in the correct position. So now if I change this one, oh no, it's mucked up the order. Oh, actually, okay, so there is a quicker way to solve it. It's actually not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And that's it. We solved it. The quickest way to solve it, I think. Also, I think I might change the song for this map, because it's kind of annoying hearing it. What did I say? 1, 3. Oh, 2, and yeah, that's the quickest way to solve it. Yeah, it's actually not that complicated. What if? But if I simply rearrange the order of these crystals a little bit. Well, what? Actually, maybe I'll keep that one there because it's closest to you. But if I just rearrange the order of these a little bit, will that Oh, okay. That makes it worse. As if they just go between these two. But then they might go here first. And then they'll go... Oh wait, this doesn't play into... Wait, I forget. I don't want it to be in a square. Wait, I don't want to change the order. Do I want them to be in a row? Because I want it to be... Because I want you to understand that it's green, red, green, blue. I mean, that gets it across, right? I really thought this puzzle was going to be more complicated than I made it out to be. But I mean, it makes sense, right? If it didn't take me very long to figure out how to design the puzzle, it shouldn't take that long to solve it either. But yeah. What happens when I come back? Solve. Also, these should all be deactivated. So I need to wait. Let's change the order back. We'll keep it the way it was. If people solve it quickly, good for them, you know, they'll feel smart. Because that's the thing. They don't know how complicated or not complicated the puzzle is. They just, you know, unless they play through it multiple times and figure out how simple it is, they might go, oh wow, I'm glad I fluked that. This was probably meant, you know, because it's the Sky Temple, it's probably meant to be a really difficult puzzle. I'm so smart for solving it so quickly. When in reality, it was never hard to begin with. Okay, so what we want to do is copy, paste. No, I pressed copy twice. Copy, paste. We're gonna turn that off and turn that to Sky Puzzle solved. And that's all gonna be gone. Yeah. All right. That's what we want. And we'll just do that for all of these guys. Copy, paste. Sky Puzzle solved. Delete everything. Copy, paste. Sky Puzzle solved. Oops. Delete. And copy, paste. Sky Puzzle solved. Deloitte. They also need to figure out that they need to make the crystal be shiny, so add a couple seconds. Add a couple seconds? Add a couple seconds to what? Do you mean? Or are you saying that will add a couple seconds to how quickly they solve it? To the time it takes them to finish. Right, yeah. True. Um, hmm. We'll make it so that they can, if they decide to interact with the crystals before the crystal appears to be dormant. And we'll just paste that all over. Maybe when I'm polishing this later on, I'll make him say something different, but literally the same thing to each one. So he says something unique with each crystal. It's a little way to polish it, you know? Make it look like there was a little bit of extra love and care. Yeah, that's... So this kind of gives a hint, right? With this already in the correct position. Is there other ways to solve this? Yeah. We did it. I think that's pretty cool. Okay. I'm gonna make it that this... because what do we have? We don't have a... We don't have oh wait, we do. In the fire temple. What does it look like? Yeah, we're using this one for the sky gem. So we should actually differentiate that. So when this activates, it actually turns into this. Which will again signify to the player, oh, that's like the crystal that we saw in the sky temple. Yeah. Ooh, or do we make it that when the puzzle is solved, they all turn into shiny gray? It's kind of fun having all the colors there. Wait, why is that? That's... No, I did that wrong. It's meant to be that, and that's meant to be that. Okay. And they're all dormant and gray. Oh. Oh. To add an extra... This is going to be annoying. Actually, no, it won't be that annoying. If I go... No, it is kind of going to be annoying. Oh. No, it's not going to be that annoying. If we do this... No, I want to copy this one. We're going to copy this. We're going to paste it here. We're going to say Sky Crystal 0. Crystal 1, 0. Yeah? No, because that will already activate. No. This will work. This will work. Trust me, guys. Yeah. Okay. So this... Okay. All right. Let me just do it, and then you'll understand what I'm doing. So we want the Sky Puzzle Begin switch for this one. And crystal number 1 being 0. Equal to 0. What do I... No. Alright, get rid of that. Sky Puzzle begins. And then here, we're actually going to get rid of all of these. Yeah, we're going to get rid of all of these. And we're going to... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to... Okay, so that's fine. And we're going to copy... Yeah, we're going to copy this one. Paste it. Turn that off. Sky Puzzle begins on. Change that to that. So we're going to start with a blank slate. To again give more Yeah, there's going to be like no hints at the start. Get rid of that. Put that in. Change that to that. And same here. Do this. Paste. And change that to that. That and that. Okay. So this should make sense, right? The ball will not start rolling. So they're activated, but there's no color in them yet. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Right. That works. That makes sense. Yeah. 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 Okay. I think that's it, guys. What time is it? 10:30. Oh my gosh. I want to go to bed. Cool. We absolutely smashed that. I didn't think we would solve that so quickly. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You know, hopefully if you're working on your own RPG Maker projects, that this gave you some inspiration, some ideas for the possibilities of building puzzles. Because that's the thing, you know, it doesn't have to be crystals. You could make it treasure chests. You could make it, you know, you can make it animals. You know, you change the animal, and you've got to get all your ducks in a row. You got to change all the animals to ducks or something. You know, you can slot that in to fit for your game however you like, and you can make it more complicated. You know, I only had 4 crystals. You could make it have 10. That would get crazy, but you know, let the player juggle that and see how that goes. And yeah, you know, same thing with the fire geysers. I definitely think I could have figured it out quicker if I had just added an extra geyser instead of working with just the 3. These puzzles, yeah, they're modular. You can make them bigger, smaller, do whatever you want. But hopefully that inspires you. And you know, you could again put these puzzles one after the other. You'd find ways to mix them in with each other. Interesting. I was even just thinking just then as I was finishing up the crystal puzzle, I was like, well, what if you couldn't set the crystal to a certain color until you explored the dungeon and found a chest that contained an item that would allow you to change the crystal to a green color. And then I immediately realized how much more complicated that would make things. But, you know, that's something that I could look at doing in the remaster to change up. Yeah, so the first thing you would have to do is explore the rest of the dungeon to find all the items that you'd need to get to be able to change all the crystals, and then the crystal puzzle would still be the same. Anyway, you know, that's the thing. You can think of these things. You can think of the puzzle that you set up, and then you say, oh well, maybe one of the one of the aspects of the puzzle is that you need to fetch an item that allows you to actually do this part of the puzzle. You know, so maybe for the fire geysers, you've got the 3 levers, but one of the levers is broken, and you need to find the broken lever piece so that you can repair it, and only then can you actually solve the puzzle. If you want the crystal puzzle harder, you need to change crystal 2. Just change crystal 2? Well, what would I even change it to make it more complicated? Because I want crystal 3 to change crystal 4, so that because if it only changes, because it changes 2 and 4, but if it only changes 2, or if it only changes, maybe what would it be if it only changes 4? Yeah, so if I could make it that crystal 2 changes 1 and 2. Remind me and on Thursday, and we'll quickly plug it in and see how that changes things. You'd have to change 2 first, then 1, then 3, then 4. It only kind of just changes the order a little bit, because right now the quickest order is 1, 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4 is all you need to do. You have it set up only crystal changes number 1. Set up the only 1 crystal changes number 1 and 1 crystal changes number 4. Oh, yeah, true. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'll add it to the to-do list. Thank you, trailer. Beautiful. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a like, leave a comment. If you thought there's a better way to do these puzzles, please subscribe as well if you want to receive and hit that bell if you want to receive notifications. And remember too, guys, if you want to have your own NPC in the game, check out my pinned comment. I hope it's still pinned. Yeah, check out the pinned comment, the Google form there. You just fill that in and you just tell me the NPC that you want in, and we will put you in the game. You will be in the game. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, lurkers. I really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone that has supported me on this journey so far. It's been awesome. Really enjoying it. Guys, Thursday. Tune in. We're doing the fishing mini game. It's going to happen. We're going to do it. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. I bet. Tell your friends, anyone that's excited about fishing mini games, it's happening in a simple RPG. Yes, come along. Otherwise, have a good night. Have a great week. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.